use of such intimate language is comforting. Theodore Nicholdick's criticism of the Quran was not only a personal value judgment, but also exposed his limited understanding of the classical Arabic language. These grammatical shifts contribute to the dynamic style of the Quran. They are obvious stylistic features and are an accepted rhetorical practice. The Quran uses this feature in such a way that conforms to the theme of the text, while enhancing the impact of the message it conveys. It is not surprising that Professor Neil Robinson, in his book Discovering the Quran, a Contemporary Approach to a Veiled Text, concludes that the grammatical shifts used in the Quran are a very effective rhetorical device. Conclusion. The Quran is the peak of Arabic eloquence. The Quran stakes its claim to its divine origin by highlighting its language when it issues the challenge for man to rival even its shortest chapter. Surely a human being with equal or greater literary ability to the author of the Quran should be able to produce a similar chapter. Since the revelation of the Quran over 1,400 years ago, many have tried and failed to meet this challenge. This is in spite of having the very blueprint the Quran itself to follow. If the Quran's style cannot be imitated by any human, we should thus reflect on its origins. Impact on society. Before the coming of Islam, the world was in a state of oppression and injustice. Pre-Islamic Arabia was a dreadful place to live in. The Arabs were an immoral people. Slavery was an economic institution. Male and female slaves were bought and sold like animals. They were the most depressed class of the Arabian society. Illiteracy was common among the Arabs, as were alcoholism and adultery. Those with power and money took advantage of the poor by charging 100% interest on loans. Arabia was a male-dominated society. Men could marry any number of women. When a man died, his sons inherited all his wives except his own mother. Women had virtually no legal status. They had no right to possess property and had little to no inheritance rights. Female infanticide was widely practiced. Daughters were often buried alive. I think you can appreciate why this period of Arab history before the dawn of Islam is known as the period of ignorance. Can you imagine being tasked with reforming such a society? Have a think about how long it would take one person to cure all these social ills. A lifetime, perhaps several generations. You may even view it as an impossible task. Just to give you an idea of the scale of the challenge, let's look at an attempt in recent Western history to eradicate just one of these social ills. Alcoholism. In 1920, the United States government passed a nationwide law to ban the sale, production, importation, and transportation of alcoholic beverages for moral and medical reasons. This era is commonly known as the Prohibition. Although the consumption of alcohol fell at the beginning of the Prohibition, it subsequently increased and led to other problems, such as corruption and organized crime. The law was repealed in 1933, the failure of one of the most powerful governments in the world to tackle just a single social ill should make us reflect on the Quran. The Quran managed to completely reform not only alcoholism, but all the social ills of Arabian society in a single generation. It took just 23 years. This was a revolution, the likes of which the world has never witnessed. Now, perhaps you might be thinking to yourself, the social ills of Arabia were a result of the tribal nature of society and the harsh desert environment the Arabs dwelt in. But the fact is that even the superpowers of the world at the time, the Byzantine and Persian empires,